Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and welcome to Week 9 Seahawk Game Recap of the Seahawks versus Rams. And man, it's another loss, and I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently. The Seahawks fall to 4-5, below 500 as they enter the Week 10 bye week, and man. This one was tough to watch. This one hurt a lot. So I'm just here to recap it for you guys. I think it was a good game overall, but it just still hurts to have a loss. Let's get into recapping this game. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like. It lets me know if I'm doing a good job with these videos or not. And if you'd like to see any more future Seahawks content from this channel, please consider subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. Game summary: the Rams win it at Lumen Field, 26 to the Seahawks 20 in OT. And let's start off with the Seattle Seahawks because they were the home team. The Seahawks ended the day with 424 total yards, 317 passing yards, 107 yards rushing. They had 5.7 yards per play, 20 first downs. They went 4-15 on third down, went 2-for-3 on fourth down, had 74 total plays, 7 sacks allowed, 7 punts, 12 penalties for 95 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and 3 interceptions thrown by Geno Smith. I'll talk about that in the focus players. And the Seahawks ended off the day with 32 minutes and 53 seconds of possession time. For the Los Angeles Rams, they ended off the day with 366 total yards, 298 yards passing, 68 yards rushing. They averaged 5.4 yards per play, 22 first downs. They went 3-for-13 on third down, didn't go for it on fourth down. They had 68 total plays, 0 sacks allowed, 8 punts, 8 penalties for 83 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and 1 interception thrown by Matthew Stafford to Rick Warren. And the Rams ended off the day with 32 minutes and 10 seconds of possession time. And let's get to Ryan's focus players and let's talk about Geno Smith for a moment. 21 for 34, 363 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And man, I don't know what it is with Geno Smith giving the ball to the other team in the red zone. 2 interceptions in the red zone that could have put the Seahawks in a better position to win this game. I think they should have overall won this game outright, but mistakes like 3 interceptions from your starting QB will cost you. And, Gino, again, still, I know it's the O line. The O line has sucked for many years in Seattle, but I'm not actually going to say it's all the O line's fault. Gino just made some pretty bad reads. There's 2 interceptions there by a safety there for the Rams, who I will talk about later, but he just can't make those throws in the red zone. He's playing hero ball and it bit him in the bottom. And, getting sacked 7 times will do you in as well. So, Geno Smith, just need to be better, man. Glad you could come back and throw some touchdowns to, come back and bring it into OT, but still, that doesn't excuse for you throwing 3 interceptions in this game. Let's get to running back Kenneth Walker, 25 carries, 83 yards, averaged 3.3 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. And Kenneth Walker, good to see the run game from Ryan Grubb that really helped out this Seahawks offense be more explosive. The Seahawks offense was surviving off of a lot of big catches from their wide receivers in Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith-Njigba, but they were also relying on the run game. When you set up the run game, you're allowed to have those explosive passes. Your play action starts working and things start working. So good game from Kenneth Walker. Just sad that this game ended in a loss. And let's get to the man of the hour, Jackson Smith in Jigba. What a day for him. And I believe this is a career game for him. 7 receptions, 180 yards, 25.7 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns. The yardage and the passing touchdowns are career highs for the second year player out of Ohio State. And he had a fantastic game along with Tyler Lockett and Cody White. And man, putting up this kind of performance, just big plays all around from Jackson Smith and Jigba. Really loved his game again. Career highs in both yardage and touchdowns. Just annoyed that it came down to OT. And of course, the Seahawks lose it in OT. Sadly, the Seahawks defense, and let's talk about D lineman Leonard Williams, had 2 solo tackles, 3 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles. But the reason why I wanted to talk about Leonard Williams was due to the fact that Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed, and Jonathan Hankins are playing all lights out, allowing Leonard Williams to get pressure on Matthew Stafford. And Matthew Stafford had to throw some big time passes in order to get it past the Seahawks defense. And the Seahawks really showed up, especially the pass rush today was immense. Even though they didn't get 0 sacks, they got pressure. And what's really great about them getting pressure on the D line from the edges in Boya Mafe, Derek Hall, and Draymond Jones is that when you force pressure on a quarterback, they get a little bit flustered. That allowed them to pick it off with Reek Woolen and try and capitalize on some mistakes. So good game overall from the Seahawks D line, and Leonard Williams helping stop Tyree Williams from making a huge impact on this game in the run game as well. Let's talk about DB, and let's talk about safety Kobe Bryant. And he had 3 solo tackles, 1 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. But this man, coming in for Rayshawn Jenkins as he was placed on IR a couple weeks ago, and he's really done really well at the safety position. Remember, the Seahawks, when they drafted him, he was a corner. He was a nickel corner. And ever since they got Devin Witherspoon, he made the transition to safety, and he's been flourishing in that role. This guy makes huge hits. Demarcus Robertson, he was kind of trying to bottle him up. He made a couple big hits on Demarcus Robertson to help the Seahawks stay afloat with this Seahawks secondary. So good game from Kobe Bryant, the strong safety. And let's talk about linebacker Ernest Jones, the fourth. 6 solo tackles, 3 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. But the reason why I wanted to talk about Ernest Jones today was not only did him and Terrell Dotson have a really good game tackle-wise, but he was facing his former team in the LA Rams, and he was crucial stopping Tyree Williams along with this D line, stopping that run game, something that's been troubling the Seahawks all year long. See what happens when the Seahawks can get pressure and get good tackling from their linebackers. Ernest Jones almost had a pick in this game. He just dropped it, sadly, and he was flying all over the field today. This defense did an amazing job in this game. The Rams, and let's get to QB Matthew Stafford, 25 for 44, 298 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception from Reek Woolen. And Matthew Stafford, man, he is a gunslinger. He's a pure pocket passer, one of the only ones left in the NFL, in my opinion, because all these guys can now run. But he's an elder statesman in this league, and he shows, especially in OT, how he can lead game-winning drives. Him and Demarcus Robertson had a day today. Him and Cooper Kupp also had a day today. So good from Matthew Stafford being a game manager and being able to beat the Seahawks. Hate to see that happen, but it was a good clinical game from Matthew Stafford. Let's get to running back Kyrie Williams, 22 carries, 69 yards, averaged 3.1 yards per carry, zero touchdowns. And the thing about Kyrie Williams is that he is a very explosive back. And although the Seahawks D line did do a lot to stop him in that first half of the game, he was still productive in the second half. Most of his yardage, I believe, came in the second half. I wish I had the first half stats, but he was doing all he could, and he really wasn't needed for the Rams today. Getting 22 carries, that's a lot of carries, but it just leans on the back of Matthew Stafford and this wide receiver core. And speaking of wide receivers, let's get to Demarcus Robertson, 6 receptions, 94 yards, averaged 15.7 yards per carry, had the 2 touchdowns, and the OT winner was one of them for the Rams. And man, Demarcus Robertson getting the chance after Puka Nacua gets ejected for, I believe it was unnecessary roughness on Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant kind of shoved him, and again he retaliated and punched him in the face with his fist, throwing a punch at Kobe Bryant in the second quarter, and he was taken out, Puka Nacua. So Demarcus Robertson steps up, the 30-year-old who was a Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver way back when, comes in and makes a statement and is able to put his mark on this game, going mainly up against the practice squad guy of Josh Jobe and just making mincemeat out of his opportunities. Great game from him. Very clean route runner and very physical, trying to get those balls from Matthew Stafford. Very physical wide receiver and a very good game from him. Let's get to the Rams defense and let's talk about D lineman DT Kobe Turner. 3 solo tackles, 3 assisted, 1 sack, no forced fumbles, and man, oh man, this D line, man, this D line for the Rams just bullying the offensive line of the Seahawks. And that's been a theme for this Rams defense. They've got guys like Jaden Verse, who I'll talk about in a minute, but these guys, I believe his name is Braxton Fix as well. He's a very powerful guy, and he's allowing Kobe Turner and the rest of these guys to get sacks, to get tackles, and the Rams really showed up today and really put in an effort. Both defenses were very, very physical with one another. And of course, the Seahawks offensive line just couldn't hold a candle to what the Rams defense was capable of. But let's talk about DB and let's talk about the third round pick from Miami this year, Cameron Kitchens. 3 solo tackles, 0 sacks, the 2 interceptions, and the 2 interceptions that he got on Geno Smith were crucial turnovers in this game for the Rams to then make it in OT and win it in OT. He didn't really do much in OT, but he made sure that in the fourth quarter, he was given the Rams chances to win this game. Even returning a pick six for 103 yards. I believe that is a franchise record for the Rams or in the NFL. I can't remember what kind of record that this young rookie broke, but good game from him. Just the ball hawking safety, and he's a safety. So he was in the nickel because one of the Rams players, one of their nickel corners, went down early in the second half, and this safety was coming up and playing in the nickel, and he picked off Geno Smith, read Geno Smith in the fourth quarter, and was just able to pick it off and make a name for himself. That's what you want from a third round pick. Good game from him. Just wish it wasn't against the Seahawks. But let's talk about linebacker slash edge Jaden versus the 19th overall pick in this year's draft. 3 solo tackles, 1 assisted, 1 sack, no interceptions, and You remember Aaron Donald? Well, I think that the Rams have found their kind of Aaron Donald replacement almost. This kid runs like he's shot out of a cannon. He is using power and strength and athleticism to get through the offensive line, especially on the tackles. He was on Charles Cross. He got in there, was disruptive, got a sack in there, and he's the reason why the Rams got 7 sacks on the Seahawks today. It was just insane. This guy, Jared Verse, is going to be a problem in the NFC West for years to come. Good game from the rookie, forcing pressure and making his mark. Ryan's final thoughts. What went well? Defense, in my opinion, played really well all game long, making big plays to help try and secure this win. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba had a career game today, and it just really sucks that this game ended in a loss because he balled out today. Great to see from the second year player out of Ohio State. And also, the offense really started to pick up in like the last 2 minutes of the second half. And man, when they are clicking, when Ryan Grubb is able to click with this offense and they're doing things right, they're really, really entertaining to watch. They were making explosive plays that the Rams just couldn't stop. And they were doing so good on offense, and the defense was working. And I see flashes of this offense working out really well. It's only going to be a matter of time before they put both offense and defense together and start winning games again. I'm really excited for that. But what to improve on? Let me start off by saying that the first quarter offense needs to improve. We haven't scored a first quarter touchdown rather, in our last 3 home games. And that's a big problem. When you don't score points on the first drive or your second drive or your third drive of the game on offense, it could be really, really tough. The offensive line still isn't great, still having a lot of miscues, and a lot of it is on Geno Smith. A lot of it is on Connor Williams. Connor Williams, again, throws a ball over Geno Smith's head, and then Geno Smith also had another a fumbled snap where he just lost concentration and it just went on the ground and killed drives. So that needs to be addressed. The offensive line still needs to be addressed. Some of those big issues that happened in Buffalo happened in this game, and it cost the Seahawks the game, unfortunately. And secondly, the next thing I wanted to bring up was the red zone offense. I think it's what killed us in this game. Again, Geno throwing those 2 picks in the red zone in the fourth quarter, I believe, cost the Seahawks the win today. That's 14 points. That's not on the board because Geno threw those 2 picks, one resulting, or no, both actually resulting in scoring drives for the Rams. And it really sucks to see that these turnovers are happening, and it's just one of those things. It's mental lapses, it's the miscues, it's the fundamentals. I understand it's first year head coach, it's first year offensive coordinator, it's first year defensive coordinator, and I know it'll take some time to get used to NFL speed and that kind of thing, but I just don't want to see this team fall apart like they did against the Rams. They were leading 13-3 at half, did not score in the third quarter at all. And one thing that I wish they did in OT was, instead of going for it on 4th and 1 in OT, they should have kicked the field goal. I know that's insane. I don't care how well the defense played in this game. You take the points. You don't just leave it down to the Rams then driving down the field and scoring a touchdown because the defense is just tired. So that needs to also be fixed. Some of the decision making just wasn't there today. Overall, though, this was a really intense game. Rams, take your win and run with it, you guys, with a bunch of young rookies played really well today. You guys are doing really well. I think you've won your last three consecutive games. You take us out of third place, put yourselves there. The Seahawks are now down in fourth. And, again, you're doing this with a bunch of rookies. You did this without Puka Nakua throughout the second half of the game, and you guys came back and won it. So I do believe, although the Seahawks should have won this game, you guys deserve to celebrate this victory. For the Seahawks, like I said last week, if you remember, this was a must-win game. You're now last in the NFC West, and it's going to be really hard to get back in the win column for week 11, I feel, when you go on the bye week, because we face the 49ers, man, and then we face the Cardinals. We're getting all the divisional games one after another after this bye week. So I hope after week 10, you guys will be well rested enough to beat the 49ers and get back to 500. That's all I want to see from you guys today. Great effort from the defense. Let's just try and put the offense together for a full game of football instead of having them score their touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of each quarter. That would be great if you guys can just put it together. You guys can be so formidable. I know what these players can do. You just need to put it together now. Anyways, that is it for this Seahawk game recap of week 9, Seahawks versus Rams at Lumen Field. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How are you feeling about this loss? I know it's another loss, but at least this one was really close. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Week 10 is a bye week, but I will be having a bye week show for you guys on the channel, and we'll discuss how the season has gone so far and my thoughts on the season so far. So stay tuned for that video. Anyways, have a good day. Go Hawks go, and I will see you guys next week for the Seahawk Bye Week Show. Take care of yourselves and have a good day.